Hey guys, welcome back to Three Bold Takes. I know it's been a little bit. We took a little bit of a hiatus. We're back. We're ready to go. We're going to be previewing some of the schedules that we're excited for in the 2025 season. And for today, old Chase here has brought us one of the he is very excited for 2025. Chase, how about you go ahead and let us in on what schedule has you excited for this upcoming season?
Guys, when we mention schedules, when we mention matchups, and we're excited to sit on the couch and just couch rot all day long, I thought of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Mainly because their season kind of rots away too by the time it gets to the postseason. However, during the season, watching these matchups, it'll be fun to sit there and watch. Mainly when you pull up their schedule, you see a lot of pretty colors because they're just filled with different teams across the nation. So if you guys don't like to read your books, you like to look at the pictures more, Notre Dame's schedule is for you. You got Miami to start off, Miami, Florida, guys. Miami, Florida of the ACC. Then you're going to go to Texas A&M after a week off. Then you get Purdue. Wow. Shout out to Boilermakers. Then you're going to head over to Arkansas. You're going to get Boise State, who played in the playoffs last year. Will they get back this year? We'll let you guys decide that one. Then you get NC State, who had a down season last year, but NC State's usually a pretty gritty ACC team. We'll see if they return to that. USC, and then you get the Navy Midshipmen in November, which is always an exciting one. And then, honestly, I think an underrated game is going to be Pittsburgh and Syracuse down there to end the season. But I kind of picked this one because you don't see a lot of these fun matchups early on. You get Notre Dame, Miami starting off hot. That's going to be a fun one. You're going to see what Carson Beck's made of against a really good defense really quickly, and then Notre Dame. You should be able to find your offense against mostly uh, a weak defensive team in Miami, I would like to say usually. So without Riley Leonard anymore, what does your offense look like? I know you still have Jeremiah Love, if I'm not mistaken. And so you guys should be good there, but finding your quarterback, that's going to be a really fun game as they're both testing each other on both sides. Texas A&M was a fun game last year, and I think it can be again this year. And then Arkansas, they're trying to save Sam Pittman's career. I think that's another big one. And again, two SEC games in a single season, much less the first 4 weeks for Notre Dame. I wish we had a statistician on our team to find out when the last time that was for Notre Dame. I think typically I'm seeing like UConn, Old Dominion, and whoever else they can find under a rock to play the first four games of the season against them. But no, you have two SEC teams, and then the fifth game is a playoff team. I'm really excited for how Notre Dame's going to compete this year, and you're going to find out really quickly what Notre Dame's made of through the first 5 games.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest here. I wasn't super thrilled to talk about Notre Dame. However, like the more I look at it, yes, this is a fun schedule, but I also want to point out the fact that their toughest road game is at Arkansas. Now, it's going to be a completely different environment probably than Notre Dame's ever faced, just simply because of who they're playing and where. You saw last year that at Texas A&M was a very, very tough game. That was a very good game early on in the year, one of the better ones of the first 4 weeks of the year. So I'm super excited to see how Arkansas can compete against a Notre Dame. This is a huge matchup for them as well. But that's your toughest road game. I mean, you got at Pitt, at Stanford is basically like playing a high school. You do actually play a high school or at a high school stadium at Florida or at Miami rather, because they just have no home field advantage or home field environment. I will die on that hill. Said that for many years, but I am super excited, man. Because Quinn, you said it best that we before we started recording that we typically give Notre Dame crap for their schedule. Um, but this is a fun one. Like it's teams that you normally wouldn't play, like Boise State, and that's one good thing about being independent is that they can go out and do this, right? Like they can go out and compile a schedule of teams with all these different conferences, SEC, ACC, Big Ten, everybody, and it actually ends up being a relatively fun schedule. So, kudos to Notre Dame for doing that, and super excited to watch it next year.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, Boston College is on this schedule, correct?
Yes.
At Boston
Yeah,
College.
so when you look at they have to schedule certain ACC opponents. They're going to schedule Boston College. They're going to schedule Pitt. They're going to schedule Stanford. Those are traditional games for Notre Dame, right? Um, but on top of that, you get NC State, who usually is a pretty good ball club, and Miami. And again, I'm going to come on here and defend Miami once again. Yes, that stadium is 9 times out of 10 not a hostile road environment. However, for random games, they get up for.
Random Thursday night games. We'll just say that.
Well, this one will be one of those random games. I promise you. Catholics Convicts is a game that always turns out big numbers. You've got a huge Catholic group society in the city of Miami. So this game is always a big deal when they play it. Okay. On top of that, you got a lot of buzz off of last year's Miami team being pretty good. You're bringing in Carson Beck. I think there's excitement down in South Bend, or obviously in South Bend, but down in South Beach for the Hurricanes. So I expect that to be a pretty good road environment. And then obviously the two SEC games. I mean, how can you not get excited about that? It's logos on helmets, right? Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's logos on helmets to get you excited for early season matchups. And I think this is the thing that really Notre Dame has been irritating me with over the last handful of seasons is you're an independent. You're obligated to play a certain amount of games against ACC schools, but with that outside of ACC presence, usually the games are kind of boring. And if you're going to schedule like a G5 school, Boise State's a great one to schedule. All right, because that is of all the G5 schools, I think they're the one that gets the most respect with their logo, hands down. And then Navy, that's a traditional game for you. A lot of people don't realize that, but it is. Notre Dame and Navy play each other a lot. It's a traditional
And
rivalry that
USC.
dates back. Yeah, and USC. They're going to play for that. They're going to play that game
Right.
every year, no matter what. So I think this schedule is super exciting for a non Notre Dame fan looking at it just names on paper, right? Now, obviously, we don't know what 2025 is going to hold. We can have all the hype in the world for Miami, and they could be terrible, and we could think Arkansas is going to go 3-9, and they end up in the playoffs. I mean, that's not going to happen. It's Arkansas, but you still you get what I'm saying. Like you don't know. So just strictly names on helmets. This schedule gets me more excited for a Notre Dame football season. We're actually going to get to see Notre Dame in games that are on television that people care about. It's not going to be like, oh, Notre Dame's playing, Navy and Army in back-to-back weeks, and then they're going to go play against, I don't know, like Virginia, and no one's going to watch it. And they played in week 1 and 2, and you watched them, and then you watched them play USC at the end of the year, and that's all you know about Notre Dame, right? Like that's not going to happen.
That is
This
true.
year's schedule. So I'm super, super excited about that. Again, I think Notre Dame's probably. We'll see where they land. I don't think they're going to be able to run the gauntlet on this one. I think they might miss the playoffs off of this schedule, but we'll see. We'll see.
Just to toss it back some, in 2023 they opened with Navy, Tennessee State, NC State, and Central Michigan.
Yeah.
In 2024 they opened with Texas A&M, which they won by 10, Northern Illinois, Purdue, Miami of Ohio. So this one opening up with the 4 that they have this year is going to be pretty exciting. And regardless of what happens, if they go 12-0 with this schedule and we find out all these teams sucked or didn't suck or they were all so great, I'm going to hold the schedule against them regardless. It's Notre Dame. You got to, right? No matter who they play. I'll point back to how they played USC and they played Boston College and Navy and then also Stanford. I'm going to hold
that won one ball game this year. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm going to do it at the end of the year. So if you're a fan, if you're watching this, just make sure to hold me accountable. But I will do it. I am super excited, though, at least for the four to five first games of the season for Notre Dame, and excited to see what they do on the offensive side of the ball with the new quarterback in.
Yeah, and I'll defend you guys over there in South Bend. I don't think they realize that they just named all of your rivals, and it's not your fault that your rivals aren't good at football anymore. But guys, thanks for tuning in. 3 bold takes. We're glad to be back. That hiatus was wearing us out. If you liked this, make sure you comment down below. We're going to drop plenty of more videos previewing the 2025 season. That being said, I've been Quinn. I've been joined by Freddie and Chase, and we're going to sign out, and we'll see you in the next one.